Okay, so where was I? Hello, everybody. It's been a long time since I've been on here. And got a comment from a viewer, Dave, recently, wondering if I was still around, and I am. So I thought I'd jump on the bike and record a video to explain my absence and show a little bit of Cape May on the July 4th weekend. It is July 3rd. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning. It's a beautiful day. It's about 74 degrees right now, going up into the mid to high 70s today. Should be a beautiful day. It's packed in town this weekend. My wife and I were over in town last night for dinner, and I don't know if I've ever seen town as packed as it was. And North Cape May itself is packed. July 4th is a big weekend for all the shore communities, and especially for Cape May. So anyway, I'm starting this ride at the corner of Indian and 1300 Indian. This is Franklin and Indian, I guess, is at the intersection. This is a former home of a longtime viewer, Old Yeller. If she is still around, I wanted to show her former residence. And I know most people that view these videos do so for scenes of Cape May. So I apologize in advance for wasting your time explaining my absence. I'm sure very few people really care about that, but just indulge me for this one video. So with that, let me turn the bike on and get started. So I'm starting this ride in North Cape May, and I'm going to head over to Cape May as I have done countless times. I don't think there's anything new to see on this video, but it'll just show what town looks like on the day before the 4th of July holiday. So anyway, getting back to my absence, I guess suffice to say that 2023 and 2024 have not been good years for my wife Nancy and I on a personal level. Nancy's father, who lives here in North Cape May, has since passed away since my last video, and he was 89 years old, lived a very full life, lived 36 years in retirement. He retired as a captain in the Philadelphia Fire Department, retired in his mid-50s after having purchased back his years of service in the military, in the Army. So he lived for 36 years in retirement and was active for 35 of those 36 years. And he never lost his mental acuity. What happened was he noticed a lump on his jawline, and he noticed it when he was shaving, and it just didn't go away. So Nancy did a lot to care for her dad over the years, and took him to his primary care physician. He did not like the look of it, so ordered a biopsy. And we took him to get a biopsy, and it turned out to be cancer on his parotid gland. The parotid gland is a gland that runs alongside your cheek. And what was a little more disturbing than the cancer there was that was not the primary site. It was diagnosed as small cell cancer, and that is typically originating in the lungs. So in order to find out where else the cancer might be, or where its origin was, they ordered scans of his chest, and it did show some lesions, small lesions, but lesions nevertheless on his lungs. So they followed that up with a full body PET scan, and the PET scan showed that the cancer had already progressed into his bones, and he had cancer in his both femurs and his legs and his shoulder. And due to his age, his medical oncologist advised against systemic treatment, meaning chemotherapy, and instead sent him to see a radiation oncologist, and they treated the lump on his parotid gland with radiation, simply so that he would not lose the ability to swallow or and breathe easily. So he had successful radiation therapy, but I would say it was no more than 6 months after his initial diagnosis that he passed away. And he went downhill very rapidly. Lost an awful lot of weight, lost his appetite, but was never in any pain. And we were seeing him almost every day. Nancy had become his day-to-day caregiver. And he got to the point where he was basically housebound, not able to leave his house and really go anywhere. So that consumed, understandably, a lot of our time and attention. And again, he never was in any pain, at least that's what he said. So that was good. And at the end, he only had, I would say, less than a month where he was really unable to even walk. And in the last few days, he was confined to his bed. So eventually, hospice came, and he was only on hospice for 1 day, and then he passed away. So he had a good life. He had a good long run. Nancy, my wife, did not feel the kind of remorse or regret that is sometimes the case, because she really was a constant presence in his life, caring for him over the past really 5 years since my mother-in-law passed away. She would clean his house, do his laundry, make sure that he was fed, really did every chore that you could think of. So she felt that they had a lot of good time together in the last 5 years, and she didn't have any regrets about wishing that she had spent more time with him or done more for him. But nevertheless, there's always obviously grief when a parent passes away. So that was one thing that occupied our time. Another thing that occupied our time, a personal issue, was that literally on the day my wife was burying her father, my son was rushed to the hospital and was put in critical condition in the ICU. So my wife Nancy had to literally leave the cemetery the day we were burying her father-in-law, or my father-in-law, her dad, and rushed to the hospital to be with my son, who has since recovered and is not out of the woods, but is doing much better today than he was back then. It was touch and go for a while. So that added a lot of stress and anxiety to our lives as well. And as I said, it happened, you couldn't make this up. It was literally the same day that she was burying her dad, was the day that my son, or our son, was rushed to the hospital and put in intensive care in critical condition. And as if that were not enough, another thing that we have been dealing with is my oldest daughter, the mother of my 3 grandchildren, and I've talked about my grandchildren many, many times, the oldest being the gymnast. Anyway, we always took them to Disney World every 2 years. I think I mentioned that in past videos. Anyway, in 2023, the day they returned, or the first business day they returned from Disney World, my son-in-law served her with divorce papers and indicated that he was not happy and that he had established a relationship with another woman and wanted to divorce my daughter. So I'm going through West Cape May right now. So there's been a lot of turmoil and trauma associated with the breakup of their marriage, and it still is not yet finalized. But what that meant to Nancy and I is that my daughter has moved back in with us with the 3 kids, and they are going to be 50-50 joint custody. So the kids will spend half their time at our house and half their time at my son-in-law's aunt's house where he's going to live. But what that meant was we had to basically empty out the 3 bedrooms that were occupied by my kids when they were young and renovate them and prepare them for my grandchildren to move in. And, we have spent a lot of time up there trying to give emotional support to my daughter and some stability in the life of my grandchildren. And there has been a few periods where more than an entire month went by before we even came down to Cape May. I mentioned in the past how nice the neighbors are down here and how much we appreciate the kindness and friendliness of our neighbors. And in our absence, they really did everything to take care of our house. They watered Nancy's plants, they cut the lawn, they really did everything without us asking, entering into Cape May now. And so, that has really consumed a lot of our time and attention and emotions, because we were we led the life of empty nesters for about 4 years, and it was always our thought that we would eventually sell our home up in Horsham and move permanently down to Cape May, but it seems just the opposite has happened. We haven't sold our home in Cape May, but we're spending much more time up in Horsham now because we're trying to be there for my daughter and grandkids and support them. So those three things have sort of combined to consume our life over the past year to year and a half. And that's why, I haven't spent much time down here and haven't been out on the bike. I'm going to go down to the Cove and stop this video at the Cove, and then I'll record another video of just riding around town to show town. But you can see the parking here. This is all the way down at the Cove, and you can see how crowded it is. My daughter and the 3 grandkids are on their way down the shore. We came down last night, and they are on their way down. They'll be here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and they're returning Saturday, so we'll be going back up on Saturday as well. This is the Cove. You can see it's beach is pretty crowded. Okay, I think I will end this video now, and I will start a new video just going through town. So again, apologies for all the personal stuff. I'm sure is of no interest to anybody, but that is my reason for my absence, which I hope is over now, and I will be more routinely posting videos. So take care, and thank you for watching, and thank you for your patience.